Every day, a massive chunk of the world's trade passes through a narrow stretch of water called the Malacca Strait. It operates like the busiest highway on Earth, carrying a steady stream of cargo between continents. And sitting right next to this critical ocean highway is an Indian territory called Great Nicobar Island. Geographically, it is perfectly positioned to serve as a high-traffic docking point for all those passing ships. But right now, India watches that traffic float on by. Those ships travel for weeks and need places to refuel, transfer goods, and do repairs. Instead of stopping in India, they dock at established hubs in Singapore and Colombo, taking billions of dollars in business with them. Building a modern port on Great Nicobar is India's chance to finally capture a large share of that global maritime wealth. Today, Great Nicobar is almost entirely wild, a quiet island covered in dense, untouched rainforest and surrounded by pristine beaches. To change that, the government approved a $10 billion master plan. First, carving a massive shipping port into Galathea Bay. Next, an international airport and a 450-megawatt solar and gas power plant. Finally, 2 brand-new cities housing 300,000 residents. This blueprint promises to turn the island into a major commercial engine for India. Yet environmentalists and opposition leaders are calling it a crime against nature. Right now, foreign nations are building deep-sea ports all around the Indian Ocean, effectively creating a circle of military influence around the region. To the Indian government, this is a clear strategic threat that requires a strong response. By heavily building up Great Nicobar, India gains a permanent base right at the entrance to the ocean's busiest shipping lane. It acts as an unsinkable aircraft carrier, allowing the Navy to track foreign submarines and secure the area. But securing that water requires clearing the land. To build this mega-project, developers will have to remove 130 square kilometers of ancient forest, cutting down nearly 1 million trees. Those forests and beaches are home to wildlife found nowhere else on Earth. The exact spot chosen for the new port is a globally critical nesting ground for the endangered leatherback sea turtle. Beyond the wildlife, the island sits on a volatile fault line, the same one that triggered the massive 2004 earthquake and a devastating tsunami that wiped out entire coastal foundations. Planners now face an agonizing dilemma. They are placing India's most critical national security asset directly on top of a fragile, disaster-prone ecosystem. The risk extends to the people who already live here. Great Nicobar is home to the Shompen and Nicobarese tribes, isolated groups of indigenous people with very small populations. Bringing a megacity to their doorstep could lead to their disappearance. Because they have lived cut off from the world, they have no natural immunity to common diseases. A simple virus brought by a construction worker could be lethal to their entire community. These threats have sparked a fierce political fight. Opposition leaders are calling the project a scam, pointing to what they call weakened environmental assessments and ignored tribal rights. Critics also allege the government is rushing the process to benefit large corporations, who are slated to build and manage the island's new infrastructure. The controversy asks a deep question about the cost of growth. Who does the government serve when it overrides tribal protections for the sake of private development? To address the loss of the forest, the government is using a mandatory tree replacement program. Under this rule, if you cut down trees for a project here, you must plant new ones somewhere else. But the plan's location is a point of concern for scientists. To make up for clearing a tropical island rainforest, the government plans to plant new trees thousands of kilometers away in the dry hills of Harania. Scientific experts warn that you cannot simply replace a complex, ancient island ecosystem with an artificial tree plantation in a completely different climate. Yet, the government argues that ignoring the island's potential means surrendering global trade dominance and leaving India's eastern flank open to foreign militaries. Critics offer a final warning, arguing that economic and military dominance loses its meaning if it requires erasing our own people and damaging the planet. This is the reality of the Great Nicobar Project. We are left to weigh the irreversible tragedy of ecological destruction against the cold, hard necessities of surviving in a hostile geopolitical world.